10 years ago, I booked you for a community affairs show in San Francisco, and here we are 10 years later. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I feel like it wasn't that long ago, but I believe you. I believe you. A lot has happened, I guess.
So what's been the favorite part in the past 10 years?
There have been so many highlights, but I think I always sort of gauge time with each album release. So I guess since then there's been 3 projects out, and each one has taught me more and more. And I suppose going back to Broadway, doing Waitress was a huge highlight. So, yeah. 13
years ago, since you were last on Broadway, are you going to make your fans wait 13 more years before you go back?
No, I hope not. I sure hope not, because Waitress definitely reminded me why I love the theater so much. It reminded me how much of a huge part of me as a human and an artist that it is, and how important it is to me, and how much I love it. So I needed that sort of like palate cleanser to go back and remind me what is so special about live theater and character work and being back on stage 8 times a week.
Well, with that being said, you still find ways to do theater with your solo music career as well. Who is Shoshana Bean, right?
That is a very good question. I think that what I've learned over time through my many experiences and different sort of artistic endeavors is that I am a combination of all of these things. I am not just a theater performer. I am not just an actress or just a singer or just a songwriter. I'm all of these things, and I've learned that, trying to live this sort of black and white life of like, now I'm just a recording artist, and now I'm not saying yes to any theater. It just it was what I needed to do at the time, and then once I started filtering back in theatrical projects on a case-by-case basis, just really by honestly assessing the offer and being like, is this something that excites me and sounds like it's gonna light me up? I just started choosing from my heart, and when you choose from your heart, it just kind of is, it's more of a broader spectrum, I will say.
Would you want to originate a role?
Yes, definitely. I feel like that's the next thing I would like to take on.
Any type of character that you'd want to play, or what does an originated role by Shoshana Bean look like?
I don't know. I want her to be familiar enough that I know her intimately, but I also want her to be a little bit unfamiliar so that she presents a huge challenge and some kind of fear-based adventure. I try to lean into things that scare me. And Waitress scared me, which is why it felt like the right thing to say yes to.
Why?
It felt super just like unexpected. I thought I never would have thought of myself in these shoes, and I'm honored and surprised that these producers and this creative team sees me that way. So it's terrifying. I better take it on. So I would hope that whatever I get the good fortune to originate will be equally as terrifying and challenging. To bring out other colors that, with Jenna, like I don't get to lead with those colors a lot of the time. For me, it's big singing, big characters, strong, brave, aggressive, and she's like doesn't get that moment till the very, very end. So to lead with vulnerability and subtlety was new for me.
And with that being said, your voice is incredible. You can do a number of different things, but that presented a different set of challenges from the technical aspect. Grabbing all these pies and moving around. Like, yes. How did you cope with that?
Which I said to them on the first day. They were like, we just want to warn you, like, this is props on props on props on props. And I was like, let me stop you. I played Elphaba. So, I have bags and hats and books, and I'm going to be fine. And I was not prepared. It's just beyond anything I've ever done in the world of props. And it took me a minute. And I remember, Sarah Bareilles, who wrote the score, also played the role. So she, would check in and just be like, how are you doing? Can I be of service? And I'm like, how did you, I feel like I'm 2 weeks in and I still can't get through this first number with all and she's like, just keep going. There's going to come a day when it clicks and it's just going to be second nature. And she was right. And muscle memory is just an insane thing. All of a sudden it kicks in and your body just kind of like knows what to do. So yeah, just time and repetition.
I'm sure a lot of your fans want to see you with a Tony Award for Best Leading Actress in a Musical.
That's very
Do you think about that?
Do I think about that? I think about the Grammys. That's the thing that I grew up thinking about was like Grammys. And now that I'm older, I'm surrounded by Tony Award winners, so I do a little bit feel like inferior in some way because of that. But I think, and especially being surrounded by Tony Award winners, I think the moment is amazing, but I think ultimately it comes down to just like the work. What's the next challenge I get? Will this thing give me the opportunity to? I think it's amazing to be acknowledged and appreciated for sure. So I guess the answer is yes and no. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm human in that way,
As a kid, you said you wanted to be a pop star.
Yeah.
How do you feel it's going?
I think I missed my shot, to be honest with you. If I ever had a shot, I think that, by definition, certainly the era in which I was raised is pop stars are young, so unless that is that I have the potential to redefine that in some kind of way, I think I remember being at an Ariana Grande concert a couple years back and watching her just up there in the costumes and the dancing and this, and I remember being like, I officially missed it. Like, I've officially missed my chance to be up there in a leotard. You know what I mean? And I remember being like, I gotta really digest this moment. Like, this is that huge dream that I had is like probably, they always say, and now I'm that person who says it, where it's like it never looks like you think it's gonna look for your own journey, and whether that's it looks better or it looks different or it's, yeah, I mean, I think that it's gone the way that it's needed to go for me to continue to evolve and grow and learn my lessons the way I need to. And it's gone the way it's needed to go for me to, pave the way or show an alternate option or an alternate route for other performers who both want to do theater and make their own records. And I also think it had a lot to do with the time. When I first started doing Broadway, the lines were not blurry. They were very clearly drawn. You do Broadway or there's no, and then somewhere a couple years back around the sort of like Hamilton and then it just started to blur the lines and people started to receive and respect theater as part of pop culture a little more. And I think it started with the American Idols and the Smash and the Glee. They started to sort of gain the general public started to gain a new respect for theater, and so it became more exciting and more part of pop culture. So it's been a crossover for both sides, I think.
So what's the new dream?
I don't think it's changed. It hasn't changed. I still just want to be a part of that community in like a real way. In the way that I feel like I'm a part of the Broadway community, I still long to be a part of the music industry in that way, to call those people my contemporaries or to be able to collaborate with them in the way that I can call up, my Broadway friends and be like, let's make a video or let's write a song, the same way that because that's really all it's about for me, regardless of where I'm at, is just like, who can I be around and make things with that it's fun, exciting, creatively and artistically fulfilling, and also like puts something great out into the world. And I just would love to be able to do that with like-minded musicians and people that inspire me over there. So it really hasn't changed. I've always just wanted to be in a place with my own career that would enable me to do rad things with and for other people, And I think you have to have a certain level of respect and acknowledgement and visibility and recognizability to be able to really do that effectively,
Where does your inspiration come? Because you seem so connected to the lyrics that you're singing and the message that you are delivering.
It depends on what inspiration you're speaking of. If you're speaking of writing, I try to just keep my eyes and ears open to the world around me, the people around me, their experiences, and of course my own very personal experiences. Trying to, the inspiration is there. Trying to articulate it is always difficult when it comes to songwriting. When it comes to performing, I just try to choose material that I know in this given moment I can speak to personally and authentically. So that. And then surrounding myself with amazing musicians and artists that are better than me and smarter than me keeps me constantly pushing and stretching my own abilities and my own boundaries. So,
was there a moment in your life that shaped you and changed you? And
oh, they're still happening. They happen all the time. I mean, most recently being, waitress. Like, that was a huge, personally, professionally, artistically, like a huge redefining, reshaping moment for sure. So,
and real quick, what's next?
That I can say on the record, I
or
guess.
You can say, and we'll pretend like these cameras aren't rolling.
Right. Can't really say one of the exciting projects on the record. I'm just still writing right now and continuing to prepare for the next record, which will be the next step. And I have this series that I produce in LA called Standards at the Standard, which is every Tuesday night at the Standard Hotel in West Hollywood. So, it's gone on all year, even in my absence, just giving other artists an opportunity to play in a safe, like low stakes environment, and also to give LA a place to come hear great music every Tuesday night. And that's been a learning curve, and also like really fulfilling, because for me, getting the gang together and putting on a show and calling up someone and doing a gig is a piece of cake. It's what I do. But I'm realizing that a lot of other artists don't know how to facilitate that for themselves. So to be able to create that opportunity for them, and to know that their experiences have been powerful and liberating and empowering and educational is like really rad. So that will continue, and spot dates here and there, and then the new exciting project that I can't really speak of.
Ooh, I want to know. But it's nice that you're sharing the knowledge, though, with those who are coming behind you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you.